Get your daily news fix. From Newsworthy's latest edition. April 7th. Get your daily news fix. From Newsworthy's latest edition. April 7th, 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. YouTube music charts. Global top songs from March 28 to April 3, 2025, feature the following hits. Die with a Smile, by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, APT by Rose and Bruno Mars, El Mayor de los Ranas by Victor Valverde and J.R. Torres, and Ranjan by Parampara Thakur. Spotify's weekly top songs global list. For the period from Friday, March 28 to Thursday, April 3, 2025, includes the following tracks. Die with a Smile, by Lady Gaga, APT by Rose featuring Bruno Mars, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish, and Ordinary by Alex Warren. Top-selling digital games on Nintendo US as of April 7, 2025. Minecraft, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Stardew Valley, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Steam's most popular games. A list of the leading games in terms of sales and player engagement on Steam. Based on the top 100 revenue-generating products, for the period from Tuesday, March 25, 2025, to Tuesday, April 1, 2025. Schedule 1. Counter-Strike 2, INZOI. REPO. The First Berserker, Kazan. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. The NSA, CISA, FBI, and various international partners have issued a cybersecurity advisory concerning Fast Flux, which is identified as a national security threat. Fast Flux is a method employed to obscure the locations of harmful servers by swiftly altering the domain name system, DNS, records linked to a single domain name. This threat takes advantage of a common vulnerability in network defenses, complicating the process of tracking and blocking malicious Fast Flux activities. One more drop in the ocean of AI. Meta Llama's Llama 4 Scout 17B16e Instruct. The Llama 4 series consists of autoregressive language models that employ a mixture of experts, architectural design. These models also integrate early fusion techniques to support native multimodality. The TikTok agreement has been temporarily suspended due to China's objections regarding tariffs, according to sources. President Trump has extended the deadline for TikTok to divest, mentioning that China is unhappy about the tariffs. In response to Trump's trade war, China has imposed a 34% reciprocal tariff on imports of U.S. goods. Furthermore, China has retaliated by implementing export controls on essential rare earths, cutting off U.S. supplies of minerals crucial for defense and clean tech. Trump commented that China played it wrong, which led to a stock market crash. Federal Reserve Chair Powell has warned that tariff-induced inflation could be more persistent, while Trump has urged him to lower interest rates. China has developed the world's first RISC-V chip with a size of just 1 nanometer, utilizing 2D materials. OpenAI has engaged in discussions about acquiring the AI device startup founded by Johnny Ive and Sam Altman. Air India has collaborated with Apple to introduce AirTag-based technology for tracking lost luggage. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, have issued a warning about the Fast Flux technique, which is being employed by hackers to conceal malicious servers. In a separate incident, coordinated cyber attacks have targeted Australia's largest pension funds. A breach in Europacar's GitLab has compromised the personal data of potentially up to 200,000 customers. The Wall Street Journal has reported that Klarna has decided to halt its previously planned initial public offering, IPO, following the announcement of tariffs by President Trump. Bloomberg has noted that within a span of just 24 hours, the ongoing trade war has led to the stalling of mergers and acquisitions, M&A, and IPOs valued in the billions of dollars. Nintendo has postponed the pre-order date for its Switch 2 in the United States to evaluate the effects of Trump's tariffs. In the U.S., PSA has also paused accepting international submissions for grading due to the tariffs. Elon Musk is allegedly using Doge to gain access to Social Security data in order to strengthen claims against migrants, while DHS officials have requested the IRS to utilize tax data to identify up to 7 million immigrants. DOGE is organizing a hackathon at the IRS with the goal of obtaining easier access to taxpayer data. Politico has remarked, the terror is real, as the tech industry, feeling intimidated, hesitates to criticize Elon Musk. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg has stated that the imposition of tariffs by the United States does not breach the NATO treaty. Elon Musk has expressed his desire for both Europe and the United States to transition towards a scenario where tariffs are completely eliminated. Apple is contemplating the possibility of increasing its iPhone assembly operations in Brazil as a strategy to circumvent the tariffs imposed by the United States. Trump hints at a potential tariff agreement with Vietnam following a productive conversation. In contrast to Trump's tariff policies, California, under Governor Newsom, intends to continue engaging in global trade independently. Indonesia's minister states that the country will not take retaliatory measures against Trump's tariff. Disney showcased footage from Avatar 3, Fantastic Four, Elio, and Tron, Ares at CinemaCon. The Las Vegas Sphere revealed plans for an immersive screening of The Wizard of Oz. The United States is anticipated to host the Women's World Cup in 2031, potentially alongside other CONCACAF countries. ByteDance has confirmed discussions with the U.S. regarding TikTok following President Trump's decision to grant a 75-day extension to finalize a deal aimed at preserving the app. Apple has decided to retain TikTok in its App Store after receiving assurances from Attorney General Bondi. This marks the second time Trump has extended the deadline for TikTok. The Hollywood Reporter has noted that Vimeo is interested in enabling every creator to establish their own Netflix-like platform. Furthermore, a report by Omdia highlights the growing popularity of the microdrama genre in Asia, with leading apps achieving over 150 million active users. Israel has eliminated a Hamas leader in Lebanon, adding to the strain on the ongoing ceasefire. Inspectors have indicated that over 100 chemical weapons locations might still exist in Syria. The New York Times has published a report featuring a video that depicts aid workers being killed in Gaza amidst intense gunfire, even as their ambulance lights were flashing. The Writers Guild of America has approved a fresh 3-year agreement with CBS News, ensuring important protections related to artificial intelligence. In New York, lawsuits filed by U.S. authors against OpenAI and Microsoft have been merged with similar actions taken by newspapers. The United Nations has issued a warning that artificial intelligence might impact 40% of jobs and exacerbate inequality among countries. A report indicates that Russian espionage devices have been detected monitoring the movements of Britain's nuclear submarines within the waters of the United Kingdom. It has been suggested that the White House attributes the Signal scandal to an auto-suggested contact on an iPhone. Furthermore, the Sahel Alliance has decided to withdraw its ambassadors from Algiers following the incident of a drone being downed. Anthropic asserts that reasoning models often do not express their true thoughts. DeepSeek has introduced a novel AI reasoning technique, generating excitement for its upcoming advanced model. Meta has revealed the Llama 4 series of large language models, including Maverick and Scout. They assert that the Maverick model, with 400 billion parameters, leads in all benchmarks. Furthermore, they mention that a 2 trillion parameter model, known as Behemoth, is currently undergoing training. A previously operational coal-fired power plant in the United States is set to be transformed into a large-scale gas-powered facility dedicated to artificial intelligence and data centers. A study conducted by Texas A&M University reveals that after 120 years of conservation efforts, the Yellowstone bison population has reduced to a single breeding group. The Trump administration has issued an order allowing logging in half of the country's national forests. The SEC has announced that stablecoins such as USDT and USDC, which are considered covered, are not classified as securities. Consequently, there is no requirement for registration when minting or redeeming these digital currencies. In a viral video, Jim Cramer has forecasted a stock market crash reminiscent of the 1987 Black Monday, attributing it to the tariffs imposed by Trump. Chinese markets are preparing for a potentially turbulent Monday as trading resumes following a series of reciprocal tariffs with the U.S. Trump's leading economic advisor has stated that 50 countries have expressed interest in negotiating tariffs. Long-term alcohol consumption leads to gender-specific difficulties in evaluating rewards within the striatum. Following a Western diet while pregnant is linked to neurodevelopmental issues in children and teenagers. Recent studies suggest that inadequate sleep might contribute to the rise of conspiracy theories. The United States has experienced its most significant honeybee die-off, resulting in the loss of 1.6 million colonies. In Australia, Queensland, which is typically dry, has been severely impacted by floods. The World Health Organization reports an increase in drug-resistant fungal diseases. Research indicates that individuals who feel lonely experience increased sadness after interacting with chatbots. An 18-year study has discovered a connection between being married and a higher risk of developing dementia in older adults. Brain channels that appear to be frozen in time have been found to show a chemical flow that facilitates learning and cognitive processes. Cambodia celebrates the inauguration of a military base that has been renovated by China. The Japanese emperor pays a visit to Iwo Jima to pay respects to those who lost their lives in one of the most intense battles of World War II. Germany's Rheinmetall is setting its sights on producing engines for missiles capable of traveling 2,000 kilometers and plans to establish a facility for launching satellites. Goldman Sachs has reduced its growth prediction for Chinese stocks in 2025 due to the influence of Trump's tariffs. Just 6 days prior, the financial institution also adjusted its forecast for Europe's Stoxx 600 index, citing the same tariff impact. The UK's Jaguar Land Rover has decided to halt shipments to the United States because of these tariffs. In the US, Besant has described the tariffs as a one-time price adjustment. A court in China is conducting an auction for 100 tons of live crocodiles, with the starting bid set at $550,000, but without including delivery. In Philadelphia, the zoo has celebrated the hatching of its first Galapagos tortoise babies, marking a significant event as the endangered tortoise, who is approximately 100 years old, becomes a first-time mother. In Britain's second-largest city, rats that are reportedly larger than cats are being seen as garbage collectors go on strike. According to AP, federal officials are discreetly ending the legal residency status of certain international college students. It is reported that in South Korea, intense academic pressures began as early as kindergarten. Furthermore, a teenager from New Jersey has successfully campaigned to have users of the Nitify app face imprisonment and fines reaching up to $30,000. People in Spain are taking to the streets in 40 different cities to demonstrate against the escalating housing crisis. In Hong Kong, residential landlords are receiving backing from employees at hedge funds and cryptocurrency firms, according to Savills. The death toll has increased to 33 due to severe flooding caused by heavy rains in the capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo. During Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit, India and Sri Lanka have entered into agreements focusing on defense and energy, which are expected to enhance their bilateral relations. In Armenia, the president has signed a law that marks the beginning of the country's journey towards joining the European Union. Klaus Schwab, the founder of the World Economic Forum, has announced his decision to step down from his position as the chair of the trustees. The United States is in discussions with the Democratic Republic of the Congo regarding a minerals agreement, according to a statement from a Trump administration official. In the Central African Republic, large crowds have gathered to protest against the presence of Russian Wagner mercenaries. The Reuters Institute at Oxford University has remarked that as the Trump administration curtails the voice of America, Russia and China are taking advantage of the situation to influence and transform Africa's news landscape. Germany is contemplating the removal of its 1,200-ton gold reserve from the United States as a response to actions by Donald Trump. Across the nation, millions participated in hands-off protests against Trump and Elon Musk, with Musk dismissing the Saturday demonstrators as paid puppets. In Paris, supporters of Marine Le Pen gathered, transforming a protest into a powerful display of populist strength. Le Pen criticized what she called a witch hunt and pledged to continue her fight at the rally. Trump and Vance expressed their support for Le Pen following her conviction. Microsoft introduces Copilot Vision, an AI tool designed to assist users in real-world scenarios, available on both Windows and mobile platforms. OpenAI announces the upcoming release of O3, although it will postpone the launch of GPT-5. Midjourney unveils V7, marking its first new AI image model in almost a year. Mavoglurant has been shown to decrease cocaine consumption in individuals suffering from cocaine use disorder during a phase 2 clinical trial. Research indicates that newborns exposed to antibiotics may experience a weakened immune response to vaccines. A neuroscientific model has identified a consistent physiological pattern associated with near-death experiences. Hantavirus, responsible for the death of Gene Hackman's spouse, has been associated with 3 fatalities in a remote California community. Donald Trump has declined President Biden's proposal to broaden Medicare's coverage to include obesity medications. OpenAI is experimenting with watermarking technology for its ChatGPT 4o image generation model. Uber and WeRide have collaborated with Dubai's Road and Transport Authority to introduce autonomous vehicles to the city. In a separate development, China has introduced an alternative to HDMI and DisplayPort, known as GPMI, which offers an impressive bandwidth of up to 192 gigabits per second and a power delivery capacity of 480 W. A man has filed a lawsuit against a Chinese gaming company, claiming that being virtually slapped 4,800 times led to his depression. The thalamus influences consciousness by exerting layer-specific control over the cortex. The universe's structure has become increasingly disorganized, as indicated by cosmological data that suggest it has grown messier and more complicated. A recent study indicates that OpenAI's models have memorized copyrighted material. The BBC expresses dissatisfaction with the absence of its branding on stories featured in Apple News. Russian journalists working for the BBC are deeply concerned about being labeled as foreign agents. A court has mandated that Wikimedia take down content from India that is considered defamatory.
Get your daily news fix from newsworthy's latest edition. April 4, 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Top songs on YouTube music charts, global edition from March 21 to March 27, 2025. 1. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. 2. APT by Rose and Bruno Mars. 3. El Mayor de los Ranas by Victor Valverde and Jair Torres. 4. Like Jenny by Jenny. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global, spanning from Friday, March 21 to Thursday, March 27, 2025. Features the following tracks: Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga, APT by Rose and Bruno Mars, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish, and Anxiety by Doekiai. Top-selling digital games on Nintendo US as of March 31, 2025. Minecraft, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Xenoblade Chronicles X, Definitive Edition, and Stardew Valley. Steam's most popular games, featuring the leading titles in sales and player engagement on the platform. Based on the revenue rankings of the top 100 products, for the period from Tuesday, March 18, 2025, to Tuesday, March 25, 2025. Counter-Strike 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, REPO, Split Fiction, Monster Hunter Wilds. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA has issued a detailed report on the Resurge malware, which is linked to the Ivanti Connect secure system. One more drop in the ocean of AI. ByteDance introduces Mega TTS 3, a remarkable addition. This text-to-speech (TTS) system is characterized by its lightweight and efficient design, with the core TTS diffusion transformer containing a mere 0.45 billion parameters. It excels in producing ultra-high-quality voice clones, as demonstrated in the video provided below. The performance of recent TTS models on the seed test sets is detailed in the accompanying table. Mega TTS 3 offers bilingual capabilities, accommodating both Chinese and English, and includes the ability to switch between languages. It also provides control over accent intensity and, in the near future, will allow for precise adjustments to pronunciation and duration. Coinbase CEO, Brian Armstrong, has expressed the opinion that Congress ought to permit stablecoin companies to offer interest payments to their users. A prominent U.S. lawmaker has rejected Coinbase's request for the introduction of interest-bearing stablecoins. Circle has announced the hiring of JP Morgan and Citi with the intention of filing for an initial public offering, IPO, in late April, as reported by Fortune. Furthermore, Bloomberg has provided commentary on how tariffs are causing disruptions in the Bitcoin mining supply chain, which is heavily based in Asia. NYC Mayor Eric Adams' legal case has been dismissed with prejudice, even though the Trump administration had requested the option to pursue prosecution later. Mayor Adams has decided to bypass the Democratic primary and will instead seek re-election as an independent candidate. The Hill has noted that both Vance and Harris are considered leading contenders for the 2028 White House race. In other news, Mike Pence is set to receive the JFK Profile Encourage Award for his role in certifying the 2020 election results. 7 months ago, Vance reiterated that he would not have certified the 2020 election if he had been vice president. Furthermore, a year ago, a witness testified that Trump had warned Pence that certifying the election results would be detrimental to his career. In the United States, the number of people struggling to afford healthcare and medication has reached an unprecedented level. A study indicates that the wealthiest individuals in America have a life expectancy similar to that of the least affluent people in Europe. Hong Kong has decided not to impose restrictions on the amount of screen time students are allowed, despite growing health worries. The FDA is anticipating a reduction in the number of inspections for food and drugs as a result of layoffs, according to officials. In the United States, multiple federal agencies have initiated a deferred resignation program to motivate employees to resign from their positions. The White House has stated that Musk will remain in his role until he finishes his mission related to Doge. Amazon and the founder of OnlyFans have submitted final offers to purchase TikTok as the deadline in the United States approaches. TikTok for Artists is being evaluated as President Trump considers a proposal for a TikTok America. Additionally, statistics reveal that more than 90% of student suicides in Hong Kong involved individuals aged 12 and older. Beijing urges HSBC to assist in enhancing relations between China and the United Kingdom, as well as to elevate Hong Kong's reputation. The acquisition of Discover by Capital One has successfully passed a review by the Department of Justice. Denmark's Maersk has acquired the Panama Canal Railway Company. A 55-year-old underwater camera trap, originally set to capture evidence of the Loch Ness Monster, has been discovered. Ancient DNA analysis has uncovered the existence of a previously unknown human tribe that once inhabited the Green Sahara. Furthermore, Amazon is set to launch its inaugural batch of Kuiper satellites on April 9. Oracle has informed its clients about a second recent hacking incident, during which login credentials were compromised. It has also been reported that Oracle attempted to conceal this significant cybersecurity breach from its customers using the Oracle SaaS service. TikTok is facing a potential fine of €500 million due to its data export practices between the EU and China. Furthermore, European law enforcement has successfully dismantled Kidflix, described as one of the world's largest platforms for pedophiles, through a collaborative operation. Ford plans to provide employee pricing to all customers in the United States for the upcoming 2 months as new auto tariffs are implemented, leading to an increase in car prices. According to a former Ford CEO, this price hike is simply a matter of mathematics. It has been reported that Tesla currently holds $200 million in Cybertruck inventory. Furthermore, Xiaomi's electric vehicle division is set to deliver over 29,000 cars in March 2025. The renowned Binoculars building in Los Angeles is now available for purchase. In New York, a luxurious quadplex penthouse located on Billionaires Row is being offered for a staggering $110 million. A leading insurance company has issued a warning that the ongoing climate crisis is poised to dismantle capitalism. Furthermore, a study has revealed a 7,000-year trend indicating that El Niño events are becoming increasingly frequent. Slovakia has given the green light to the culling of 350 bears following a tragic incident where a man was fatally mauled in the most recent deadly attack. In India, the parliament has approved a contentious bill that aims to alter the management of Muslim endowments. The demo scene, a subculture focused on creating computer art and music, has been officially acknowledged in Sweden as part of UNESCO's cultural heritage. The fourth installment of the Now You See Me series is being developed, with the third film officially titled Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Disney's live-action adaptation of Tangled has been put on hold indefinitely. Glenn Powell is currently filming a remake of Running Man in London, marking 37 years since the original film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Trump has implemented a 10% tariff on a global scale, accompanied by increased reciprocal rates. Bloomberg has remarked that this tariff rollout marks the beginning of a new era filled with risks for the global economy. The White House has stated that Russia and Belarus are exempt from these extensive tariffs because of pre-existing sanctions. In response, China has pledged to retaliate, accusing the United States of bullying after it imposed a 34% reciprocal tariff. Greece has committed to allocating $27 billion for a comprehensive overhaul of its armed forces, focusing on advanced high-tech warfare technology. In the United States, Army planners are considering significant reductions, potentially cutting up to 90,000 active duty soldiers from their ranks. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are planning to establish a combined military force to combat the ongoing jihadist insurgency in their region. The Department of Defense in the United States has launched an investigation into Pete Hegseth's utilization of the Signal messaging app. It is reported that Waltz's team established at least 20 Signal group chats to manage crises globally. The European Commission is targeting end-to-end encryption and has suggested that Europol should be developed into an EU equivalent of the FBI. 5 VPN applications available in the App Store have been found to have connections to the Chinese military. An Israeli military operation resulted in the deaths of numerous individuals at a shelter located in Gaza City, according to official statements. Hungary has announced its intention to exit the International Criminal Court during a visit by Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. Axios has disclosed that Jared Kushner's Abraham Accords Institute is set to merge with the Heritage Foundation. The United States has implemented a prohibition on its government employees stationed in China from engaging in any romantic or sexual relationships with Chinese nationals. Radio Free Europe has reported that the United States has deactivated a satellite that was previously used to transmit Russian broadcasts. Furthermore, Standard & Poor's has warned that the tariffs imposed by former President Trump could potentially lead to an increase in bad loans in China, reaching levels not seen since the pandemic. GPT 4.5 successfully completes Turing test with Persona. AI's conversational skills achieve unprecedented levels. In commemoration of Microsoft's 50th anniversary, Bill Gates has made available the original source code of BASIC for the Altair 8080. Indian technology startups valued at $100 billion are expected to pursue initial public offerings by the year 2027. The Trump administration has dismissed the director of the National Security Agency, following a report by the Washington Post that a far-right activist had advocated for his removal. The Hill has noted that Trump has made history by granting a pardon to a corporation. The White House has decided to delay the garden tours scheduled for Saturday due to anticipated anti-Trump protests. Canada has introduced restricted retaliatory actions against the United States, labeling President Trump's decision as a tragic event. In response to the unjustified tariffs imposed by the U.S., Canada plans to impose a 25% tax on American automobiles, as announced by Carney. Japan expresses significant worry over the U.S.'s reciprocal tariffs and insists on their removal. French President Macron urges European Union companies to halt their investments in the United States. Trump's recent tariffs have been described as creating a $1 trillion barrier to international trade for the U.S. economy. Trump has expressed willingness to reduce tariffs if presented with exceptional offers. The European Union plans to focus on U.S. online services in response to Trump's tariffs, as stated by France. In China, Pinduoduo is set to invest over $13 billion across 3 years to aid merchants. Bulgaria's ruling administration manages to withstand a no-confidence motion initiated by a political faction aligned with Russia. Russia has prohibited Elton John's AIDS Foundation, citing the need to protect spiritual and moral values. Additionally, the pro-Russian leader of Bosnian Serbs, Dodik, appears in Moscow while facing legal charges in Bosnia. The Michael Jackson biopic is expected to be divided into 2 films, which will result in a postponed release date. A live-action adaptation of How to Train Your Dragon 2 is set to hit theaters in 2027. Furthermore, Bruce Springsteen plans to release 7 albums featuring previously unreleased music, titled Tracks 2, The Lost Albums. Bonobos employ a form of syntax that was previously believed to be exclusive to humans. Marine microorganisms have been found to possess novel gene clusters that facilitate hydrogen production. The cells that cover your skin and organs have the ability to produce electricity when they are damaged, which could lead to innovative approaches for wound treatment. The United States Department of Energy is extending an invitation to companies interested in developing artificial intelligence data centers on the grounds of Los Alamos National Laboratory and other federal properties. Google is reportedly in advanced negotiations with CoreWeave to lease NVIDIA's AI servers. The information has remarked on NVIDIA's predicament, as Chinese companies have swiftly placed orders for $16 billion worth of new AI chips. Research indicates that an artificial sweetener commonly used in diet beverages may be associated with alterations in the brain that lead to heightened appetite. The United States Supreme Court has mostly supported the Food and Drug Administration's decision to reject applications for flavored vaping products. A challenging work environment might be subtly hindering initiatives aimed at boosting birth rates. Intel and TSMC have recently engaged in discussions about establishing a joint venture in the chip-making industry. In a related development, OpenAI has reported that users of ChatGPT have created more than 700 million images within a single week. The use of AI bots has led to a significant increase in bandwidth usage at Wikimedia, with a surge of 50%. Advertising is prohibited on all websites that are blocked in Russia, effective from September. Spotify informs advertisers that users are actively engaging with the app rather than passively scrolling. According to the New York Times, QVC has introduced its inaugural 24/7 live shopping streams on TikTok. Mark Zuckerberg is actively engaging in discussions with Donald Trump to resolve the antitrust lawsuit filed against Meta. Concurrently, a U.S. Senate committee has initiated an investigation into Meta's strategies to penetrate the Chinese market. Brazil has launched an inquiry into Apple regarding its app tracking transparency policy, following a complaint from Meta. The New York Times has reported that the European Union is preparing significant penalties for Elon Musk's company, X. Amazon has introduced a new AI agent designed to browse and purchase items from various third-party websites on your behalf. OpenAI and Anthropic are engaged in a competition to attract college students by offering them free access to AI technology. A DeepMind program has demonstrated its AI prowess by mastering the game Minecraft, successfully locating diamonds without any prior instruction. Nature has announced that the Trump administration instructed the National Institutes of Health to conduct research on feelings of regret experienced by transgender individuals following their transition. YouTube has updated its hate speech policy to exclude gender identity from the list of protected categories. The Ultimate Fighting Championship has entered into a comprehensive sponsorship agreement with Meta, which is expected to strengthen the relationship between Mark Zuckerberg and Dana White. The 2025 MTV Video Music Awards will be broadcast on CBS for the first time, while also being simulcast on MTV. The Simpsons, Family Guy, and Bob's Burgers have been renewed for an additional 4 seasons, and American Dad is set to make a comeback on Fox. Furthermore, the NHL has secured a $7.7 billion agreement with Rogers, which surpasses the previous media rights contract by more than double the amount they agreed upon 10 years ago. President Donald J. Trump announced a national emergency to enhance the United States' competitive advantage, safeguard its sovereignty, and bolster its national and economic security. He stated that foreign trade and economic practices have led to this emergency, and his directive includes imposing tariffs to improve the U.S.'s global economic standing and protect American workers. Treasury Secretary Bessent urged countries not to retaliate following the Comprehensive Liberation Day tariffs. In the U.S., the Senate criticized Trump's tariffs, with some Republicans voting to stop taxes on Canadian imports. Princeton University is contemplating the issuance of bonds on the same day that the federal government temporarily halts the distribution of grants. The Trump administration has delivered a list of demands to Harvard University, emphasizing the need to safeguard federal funds. Brown University finds itself under scrutiny from the Trump administration, following Columbia University, and is at risk of losing $510 million in federal grants.
Get your daily news fix from newsworthy's latest edition. April 2nd, 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Top songs on YouTube music charts, global edition from March 21st to March 27th, 2025. 1. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. 2. APT by Rose and Bruno Mars. 3. El Mayor de los Ranas by Victor Valverde and J.R. Torres. 4. Like Jenny by Jenny. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global, spanning from Friday, March 21st to Thursday, March 27th, 2025. Features the following tracks: Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga, APT by Rose and Bruno Mars, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish, and Anxiety by Doeki I. Top-selling digital games on Nintendo US as of March 31st, 2025. Minecraft, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Xenoblade Chronicles X, Definitive Edition, and Stardew Valley. Steam's most popular games. Featuring the leading titles and sales and player engagement on the platform. Based on the revenue rankings of the top 100 products, for the period from Tuesday, March 18, 2025, to Tuesday, March 25, 2025. Counter-Strike 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, REPO, Split Fiction, Monster Hunter Wilds. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA has issued a detailed report on the resurge malware, which is linked to the Ivanti Connect secure system. One more drop in the ocean of AI. ByteDance introduces Mega TTS 3, a remarkable addition. This text-to-speech (TTS) system is characterized by its lightweight and efficient design, with the core TTS diffusion transformer containing a mere 0.45 billion parameters. It excels in producing ultra-high-quality voice clones, as demonstrated in the video provided below. The performance of recent TTS models on the seed test sets is detailed in the accompanying table. Mega TTS 3 offers bilingual capabilities, accommodating both Chinese and English, and includes the ability to switch between languages. It also provides control over accent intensity and, in the near future, will allow for precise adjustments to pronunciation and duration. Israel plans to regain control over 25% of Gaza in an effort to compel Hamas to release hostages, according to an official statement. Hamas has reportedly reduced its casualty figures by thousands. The Independent has published a report alleging that Palestinian doctors were subjected to torture to extract confessions, highlighting severe abuse claims against Israeli soldiers. The Trump family is putting money into a Bitcoin mining business. Coinbase experienced its most challenging quarter since the FTX collapse, as the cryptocurrency market continues to decline. Bybit has decided to close its NFT marketplace due to a decrease in trading activity. The Wall Street Journal has reported that Mark Zuckerberg is attempting to involve Donald Trump in his efforts to challenge a recent decision by the European Union against Meta. France's antitrust authority has imposed a fine exceeding $160 million on Apple due to issues with third-party pop-ups. In China, Douyin, a platform owned by ByteDance, is providing insights into its recommendation algorithm in response to mounting regulatory scrutiny. Significant reductions in air pollution levels in China have led to an increase in global warming. Recent research indicates that if the global temperature rises by 4 degrees Celsius, the average individual could experience a 40% decrease in their wealth. There is a potential for honeybee colonies to suffer a 70% decline by 2025, which could have severe repercussions for agricultural practices. Researchers propose that OpenAI utilized paywalled O'Reilly books for training their AI models. The Alan Turing Institute is set to undergo a significant overhaul in an effort to bring itself up to date with modern standards. AI models have been found to overlook diseases in Black and female patients. Amazon has introduced Nova Act, an artificial intelligence agent capable of managing a web browser. Microsoft is in the process of revamping the Windows blue screen of death, potentially transforming it into a black screen. Google is simplifying the use of end-to-end encrypted Gmail, making it accessible to everyone, including those who use Outlook. California currently boasts a 48% increase in electric vehicle chargers compared to the number of gasoline nozzles available throughout the state. In China, flying taxis are on the verge of taking off as the first companies have successfully obtained essential licenses. Scientific American has weighed in on the matter, highlighting that major banks are discreetly making preparations for the potential catastrophic effects of global warming. Politico has reported that banks are envisioning a bleak climate future, yet they are also identifying opportunities to capitalize on it. The New York Post has reported that since the Trump administration assumed office, it has apprehended 113,000 migrants and deported more than 100,000 individuals. The Trump Department of Justice has acknowledged that an administrative error resulted in an innocent father being wrongfully imprisoned in El Salvador. In the United States, technology companies are advising their immigrant employees who are on visas to refrain from leaving the country. China initiates military exercises encircling Taiwan, labels its president as a parasite, while the White House cautions China regarding these war maneuvers close to Taiwan. The Philippine military leader advises soldiers to begin preparations in anticipation of a potential conflict involving Taiwan. The United States grants approval for the sale of 20 F-16 fighter jets to the Philippines, as Washington strengthens its crucial alliances in Asia. The Trump administration has established a task force to examine Harvard University's financial support following Columbia University's compliance with federal requirements. This initiative is part of a broader review by the Trump administration, which plans to scrutinize $9 billion in contracts and grants awarded to Harvard. Trump has temporarily halted numerous federal grants to Princeton University. In other news, Senator Marco Rubio has instructed U.S. diplomats to thoroughly investigate the social media accounts of student visa applicants. Germany is referencing post-Holocaust principles in its efforts to deport pro-Palestinian demonstrators. A new type of particle known as a beauty baryon has been identified at the world's largest particle accelerator located at CERN. Physicists have uncovered evidence suggesting an asymmetry between matter and antimatter in the decay processes of baryons and beauty hadrons. Furthermore, the head of CERN has warned that without the development of a massive particle collider, Europe might lose its leadership in the field of physics to China. This warning comes as CERN reveals its plans to construct a new particle accelerator that will surpass the size of the existing Large Hadron Collider. Roblox users have the opportunity to view Google's immersive advertisements in return for receiving in-game benefits. An analyst has valued YouTube at a potential $550 billion, dubbing it the new king of all media, as it is on the verge of surpassing Disney to become the largest media company globally. Amazon is launching a new strategy for its movies, beginning with theatrical releases. The spotlight is on assisted driving technology following a deadly electric car accident in China, prompting Xiaomi to collaborate with authorities regarding the SU-7 EV's autonomous driving system. Dongfeng and Changan are suggesting a potential merger that might result in the formation of the globe's fifth largest automotive group. The European Union has imposed a $495.3 million fine on car manufacturers as part of an investigation into vehicle recycling practices. An advisor to Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, has stated that Iran will be compelled to acquire nuclear weapons if it faces an attack. Yemen's Houthi rebels have asserted that they successfully downed another American drone, as the United States continues to conduct military strikes in the region. Russian lawmakers have introduced a legislative proposal aimed at removing the Taliban from the list of terrorist organizations. Employees from Intel and Microsoft are said to have been deceived into accepting positions with a fictitious Chinese company located in Taiwan. In India's IT industry, a significant issue of burnout is being reported, with approximately 25% of professionals working 70 or more hours each week. North Korea is allegedly employing fake tech workers to target employers in Europe. The mayor of London has decided to discontinue the support line for victims of cybercrime. Banks and technology companies in the UK have pledged to engage in real-time data sharing as part of efforts to combat fraud. In Russia, authorities have detained 3 individuals suspected of developing the Maymont malware, which is linked to more than 300 instances of cybercrime. In the United States, people are increasing their savings while reducing their spending in anticipation of the impending tariffs imposed by President Trump. Visa has reportedly extended an offer of approximately $100 million to Apple in an attempt to replace MasterCard as the credit card provider. Furthermore, TSMC has forecasted a significant economic impact of $2.5 trillion as a result of the development and implementation of 2nm technology. The ChatGPT free image generator has garnered the attention of 1 million users within just 1 hour of its launch. Runway has introduced a new AI video model that aims to ensure consistent character representation. In a related development, Microsoft has closed its AI laboratory in Shanghai, indicating a more significant retreat from its operations in China. A new California ballot initiative, known as the Luigi Mangione Act, aims to increase the difficulty for insurance companies to refuse medical coverage. In the United States, the Department of Justice has announced its intention to pursue the death penalty for Luigi Mangione, who is accused of murdering the CEO of United Healthcare. Following the rejection of its third bankruptcy settlement, Johnson & Johnson has declared its decision to face talc-related lawsuits in court, after a U.S. judge declined to approve J&J's proposed $10 billion settlement for baby powder cases. China, Japan, and South Korea have reached an agreement to address U.S. tariffs and are looking to enhance their trade relations. The Chinese foreign minister has expressed a commitment to maintaining a friendship with Russia, stating, "Friends forever, never enemies." Additionally, the United States has imposed sanctions on officials from China and Hong Kong for their involvement in targeting activists overseas. BlackRock has received approval to operate as a cryptocurrency asset firm in the UK, and its CEO, Larry Fink, has suggested that Bitcoin might eventually replace the dollar as the global reserve currency due to rising national debt. In a disturbing development within the cryptocurrency world, a trader's suicide on XLive has been turned into a meme coin, highlighting the darker aspects of the industry. Trade groups in the UK are calling on the government to focus on cryptocurrency as a key strategic sector. The Oxford Dictionary has included the Filipino term jiggle, which describes an overwhelming feeling of cuteness. In Japan, the Sukiya restaurant chain plans to shut down almost 2,000 locations following the discovery of a rat and a cockroach in one of their dishes. Microsoft has employed artificial intelligence to identify vulnerabilities in the Grub 2, U-Boot, and Bearbox bootloaders. A recent study indicates that the actual population of Earth could exceed the officially reported 8.2 billion people. Research in pedestrian physics demonstrates that the chaotic behavior of crowds is triggered by small changes in angles. Furthermore, single-cell immune aging clocks have uncovered significant differences in how individuals age during infections and vaccinations. In the United States, Senators Mike Lee and Tommy Tuberville have put forth a legislative proposal aimed at eliminating the Transportation Security Administration, TSA. In the Middle East, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia are collaborating on a unified bid to host the Rugby World Cup in the year 2035. Air Canada has reported a decrease of 10% in bookings from the United States, attributing this decline to the ongoing trade tensions between the two nations. Zack Snyder has teamed up with the UFC and Turki Al-Sheikh to create a new film titled Brawler. The CEO of Netflix has declared that movie theaters are no longer relevant, questioning what message consumers are sending. John Boyega has expressed that Star Wars is so predominantly white that the presence of a black character is considered significant, noting that toxic fans are comfortable with black characters playing supporting roles but resist them being portrayed as heroes. A study by the People's Liberation Army suggests that Chinese submarines equipped with lasers have the potential to disable Starlink satellites. Russian President Vladimir Putin has announced plans to draft an additional 160,000 Russian citizens to support the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. The United States Department of Defense is set to reassess the physical fitness requirements for military personnel in combat roles. According to a report by The Washington Post, it has been revealed that Waltz and his team utilized Gmail for conducting government communications, as stated by officials. Elon Musk made a visit to the CIA to engage in discussions regarding potential downsizing efforts. Furthermore, Donald Trump has hinted that Elon Musk's Doge might be closed down much sooner than its originally anticipated date. Sweden is reintroducing books and handwriting exercises into its schools, which have been heavily reliant on technology. New York is considering implementing a statewide prohibition on cell phones in educational institutions. Hong Kong plans to prohibit flavored smoking products next year, beginning with those that are not menthol-flavored. Trump issues executive order aimed at combating ticket scalpers and their automated systems. Trump establishes an investment office to manage funds allocated for the CHIPS Act. The New York Times discloses that a prosecutor affiliated with Trump is attempting to weaken Biden's pardons. Val Kilmer, known for his roles in Top Gun and as Batman, has passed away at the age of 65. The actor was renowned for his passionate and intense acting style. In other news, the Snow White film has faced significant criticism on IMDb, with accusations of a smear campaign involving Rachel Zegler. Tom Holland's upcoming Spider-Man 4 has been officially titled Spider-Man: Brand New Day, with filming scheduled to begin this summer. The military regime in Myanmar has discharged warning shots at a convoy delivering aid to those affected by the earthquake, as various organizations attempt to reach the victims. In a related development, the United States has proposed naming a street in Washington, D.C., as Jimmy Lai Way to honor the imprisoned media tycoon, during a speech by the Hong Kong Trade Office. Andreessen Horowitz is reportedly in discussions to assist in purchasing the shares held by TikTok's Chinese owners. Von der Leyen has committed to employing every available strategy to counter Trump's retaliatory tariffs. Britain remains optimistic that an economic agreement could lead to the reversal of these tariffs. The Telegraph expresses concern, suggesting that Trump is planning the largest tax increase in global history. The New Republic criticizes, stating that Trump's actions are likely to damage the economy, a pattern they attribute to Republicans. Goldman Sachs warns that Trump's tariffs could cause inflation to rise, hinder economic growth, and increase the likelihood of a recession. The Washington Examiner provides commentary as Republicans rejoice over the full removal of BLM Plaza. The Trump administration is celebrating a significant increase in self-deportations, describing it as sky-high levels of reverse migration. Additionally, Marine Le Pen supporters in Russia and Hungary are criticizing the guilty verdict, and Le Pen herself plans to appeal the French election ban following an embezzlement ruling. TikTok is discontinuing its platform TikTok Notes, which was designed to compete with Instagram. Substack is introducing a feature in its app that resembles TikTok's video feed. The BBC plans to engage in discussions with AI providers and increase its investment in TikTok. David Fincher is set to direct Brad Pitt in a Netflix sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, based on a script by Quentin Tarantino. Keanu Reeves will unexpectedly return to the John Wick universe in both Chapter 5 and an animated prequel. Furthermore, the cast for the Beatles biopics has been announced, with all 4 films directed by Sam Mendes scheduled for release in 2028. Norway is being encouraged to lift its prohibition on its $1.8 trillion wealth fund investing in companies that produce weapons. U.S. officials are expressing disapproval of Europe's efforts to procure weapons from local manufacturers. According to Reuters, sources indicate that Trump is in the process of drafting an executive order aimed at boosting weapons exports. The Wall Street Journal offers commentary on how Europe is ignoring Erdogan's crackdown due to its reliance on Turkey. A majority of Americans report being well informed about the happenings related to the Trump administration. Cory Booker has set a new Senate record by delivering a speech that lasted 25 hours, which also garnered over 350 million likes during a live broadcast on TikTok. The hashtag Obama2028 has gained popularity on X, coinciding with Donald Trump's mention of a potential third-term candidacy. A massive claw discovered in Mongolia has been identified as belonging to a previously unknown species of dinosaur with only 2 fingers. In Brazil, a velvet ant has been found to be so dark that it is considered ultra-black. Geoscientists have made the discovery that North America is experiencing significant water leakage from beneath its surface. A new photothermocatalytic reactor, along with a selective solar absorber, has been developed for the sustainable production of fuel through the process of ethylene oligomerization, in other words plain